Here's a WWVC specific products frequency comparator from 1963, and this cost $700 when it was new to the military. It was bought years ago for $20 at a TRW swap meet. Right now, it worked for years, and now the scope works, but there's no output. So I'm going to go look around here, and what I've figured out is the B plus is not working right now. We got 521 volts here on the quad section cap on the input, so the dual diode is working. That's the 5Y3GT. Here's the output from the transformer, and you got output to the one cap. This resistor is good. This resistor turns out it's burned out, the 1000 ohm. So what happened is this capacitor section here shorted out, blew out this resistor. Right there is the 10K resistor, right here. And I don't want to poke around there and get knocked on my butt, but the 4-section cap there has got 20 microfarads each. It's had a section that's blown out, so I'm going to probably go through and replace that with discrete capacitors, unless I can find a new old stock one I got any faith in. Anyways, this is the specific products WWVC comparator made for the military. Picks up from 2.5 megahertz to 20 megahertz in its tubes. Weighs 25 pounds. It's got RF gain. It has a scope, so you can see the phase comparator when you stick an input in. And here's the output. It's got a speaker output. You can send a signal in and compare it versus WWV. It's extremely well made. It was made in Woodland Hills, California. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off to see if it... Now, since it doesn't have any load on there, that's going to bleed down slowly. So if I go in there and look around with this thing, I'll get knocked on my butt. I'll undo this real carefully and flip this sucker over. There's the 2-inch oscilloscope that's on the inside. There's the triad transformer. There's the diode. There's the 2 resistors that are in series on the B plus. Right here, the 500 ohm and 1000 ohm. Right there. So I've got to put a 1000 ohm resistor in there. These other filters. This cap here is the one that's bad. It's a 4-section cap. Those used to be really common. They still are, but they're expensive as hell. So I'm going to probably just put 4 discrete caps in the bottom. This is a Collins mechanical filter that's inside. It's an excellent made unit. It draws a lot of watts. I think there's 100 watts on this sucker. I'm going to post a manual at the bottom for this thing in case anybody else has one. It took me a decade to find one, and it turns out there's one floating around the internet, so I finally downloaded one of those. This was worked up to a few years ago, and then it croaked, and what happened is it section shorted out, blew up this one resistor, so I'm fairly confident that'll get it back going again. Swap meet find from a couple decades ago.